Hello everyone. This is the second part of the process trainer lab, all right, about the hydraulic system. So first, you can see on the instruction, you need to observe all the components. Let's look at the diagram first. With hydraulic system, you start with a motor. So this motor is controlled by a VFD, variable frequency driver, and that hook up with a pump, and that pump will pump the water out of the tank. All right, there's a tank goes through there. And number two, that's supposed to be, let's look at here, pressure sensor, right? So you can see on the picture, that's the tank, and that's the motor pump assembly. So that will get water come out from this pipe, right? So on the back here, you have a T. You can see there's a sensor. That's pressure sensor indicated on the diagram by number 2. All right. So the water will keep going, go through this flow sensor, similar to the first part. First part is the flow sensor for the air, and now you can see number 3 is a liquid flow sensor goes through here, the pipe. And then same thing will go through a control valve. You can open with percentage, right? It's here, yeah. If you see on the right color, that's a control valve to control the opening, and then the water eventually will go into the reservoir, right? So there's a column on here. You can see it has different heights indicated on the outside. You can read from that by inches. Inside, if you look at, there's a little bit of pipe. That's the sensor to check the level. So that's reading, electrical reading from there. So you can see on the diagram number 5, right? So that's the level reading. And then number 6, you can control the opening by a hand valve, right? So hand valve is here, like this. So if you look at here, underneath here, so basically the water come out from here before going back to the tank. It can control by this hand valve. This hand valve has a lock position. You can see here. You need to release the lock, then you can open, close. It's just like household water tap, right? But it has a lock, right? So you can to do that, right? So see here, yeah. Okay, so this is the hydraulic system components. All right, so I already talked about the hand valve. The VFD is on the next page, right? So this is just a overview on the hydraulic system. Let's go to the next page on here. So next page we'll focus on the level sensor, right? So we have flow sensor, pressure sensor, but we'll focus on the level sensor first. All right, and here's those instructions, right? So from the VFD, you set the speed and reset the flow and start. You should see the water running into the column, right? So right now you can see on here, this part is the VFD control. It has a fall, right? So you have to press the reset. That depends, right? If you first time run it, you will see the fall, right? If somebody else already run it, you probably won't see it. But whenever when you see the fault, you can press the reset to clear that. So right now the speed is 0, right? So let's change that maybe to 50%, and it's not active now, right? So if I press, it's ready now, right? So if I press start, it becomes active, right? So then you can see here, right? The water start going to the tank, right? So that's how you control the water level. All right, so I don't want to go too fast. All right, maybe 15%. So then later on you will see that we can change that. All right, so you can read this part of the instruction. Basically, if you understand the previous one, we are doing the calibration for the level, right? Similar to the pneumatic flow sensor, right? So we want to set up 5 targets. So the start with 5 inch 5 inches on the water level, right? So we can read from here. And then if you press the button, you can see we can set next target is 10 inches, and 15, and 20, and 25, right? So the highest level 25, right? So if you press that, you go back to the first one. So that's what we should set up as a target, because right now the VFD is running very low speed, right? So you can see the water cannot accumulate inside there. So we should set up a fairly high percentage, right? So you can also control the valve, right? You can play with it, but in order to short this video, I don't want to do that part again, right? So we can just increase the speed maybe to 25% on the VFD, and we should see something change, but not a lot, not high enough. That's going to 45%. Now we can see some actions on the tank, right? So we need to keep eye on the level, right? It's reaching the right now it's on the 2 inches. It's still too slow. I can increase that percentage, maybe 50. So you can see the increase really fast, right? So you need to keep eye on the 5-inch. Once you reach the 5-inch, like right now, almost there, right? So you need to press the calculate to get the first one. You can see the result here. So the next target is the 10%, right? 10 inches, right? 10 inches. So we need to look at that. The reading is going to 6.5, right? So we will keep eye on it, and once reach to 10%, 10 inches, we need to press the button on the HMI. It's still slow, all right, so probably I should change more a little bit. I'll change later, right? Let's change it now. Okay, percentage increase. Right. So if you change the valve, right, definitely gonna introduce what they call disturbance, right? So calculate. So that's the second one, right? And don't forget, press this button to get the next target 15 inches. So it's going there, right? It's going there right now. It's 12 inches, right? So you need, when you read, you need to try to get a level, right? Level with the water, then you can get accurate reading. Let me change to 60. So keep eye on the level, all right? Almost there. Once we reach 15, calibrate, right? So you can see the third result, right? And if we look at the next target, will be 20 inches, that'll be this one, right? So you can see the PLC reading is roughly there, right? So reading almost 17 inches, yes, 17, right? It's roughly the same, but we need to get accurate calibration result, right? So how do we do it? We just set up the 5 targets and then get the average, right? I'm doing it very quickly, but if you have more time, you should try to get more accurate result. Right now, water level is on 19, and I'm just waiting to get the 20 inches, right? Once we get 20 inches, we'll go back here to calibrate. You can see this one also increased, right? Right now I need to press, yeah, it's there. 20 inches, calibrate. So you can see here, that's the result. The next target will be 25 inches, right? The last one. So we need to look at on the water level, it keep increasing. All right, so while we are waiting, so later on you can see here, I will ask you to maintain the level on 22 inches. All right, later on you have to practice on that. So you'll realize it's really hard to maintain the water level in certain reading very accurately by manual control. So that's why we need to talk about the auto control with PLC. We will use the PID instruction to maintain the level. Right? Later on you will see that. Right? So right now I'm just waiting for the 25%, 25 inches. Let me increase a little bit. This is too slow. 65. So you can see. All right, so keep increasing. So you understand that level controlled by the VFD and the hand valve, right? That's the discharge, and also there's a control valve, right? So you can also control that from this part. Right now I'm leaving the 100%. Okay, so right now it's 25 inches. Right? I need to calculate. So that's the result. So once I have this 5 result, I can press the average to get a pretty accurate result on the factor. It's almost 1, right? 0.979. So next step, I need you to change this at 75%. So 75%. All right, so that will slow down the water, right? And adjust VFD and hand valve to stabilize at 22. All right. I don't want to play with the hand valve. All right. I will just play with the VFD. So right now you can see the water level is over 27 now. So I need to reduce that to a lower percentage. Right. So 45 right now. The water is dropping. So I want to maintain to 22 inches, all right? So clearly 45 is not good. So I need to get maybe 55. Right, increase to 55, water level still dropping, right, but slower. So that means I need to still get maybe higher on there, 58. So on the 58, you can see water level, I think it's still dropping, right? You can also see from here, right? It's 22. It's still dropping. We need to get more, right? So maybe 59.5. You can have the decimal point, all right? So now, because it's too late, it's already dropped below 22, right? So that's why we need to increase a little bit. I think it's increasing now, right? So you got the idea, right? So you need to play with this, with the manual control to maintain the 22 level. You will find out the 22 inches is pretty hard to maintain. Like right now, we're increasing, but we need to reduce, right? Otherwise, it will overshoot to go over 22. So I get 59. And yeah, pretty stable now, right? But over the time, you will see the difference. Right now, you can see I'm right on the 22, right? With 59%. All right, let's look at the next page here. The next page is to show you the P and ID diagram. We'll talk about that on the lecture, right? And the summary, the last page, you can see the result, right? You can show the instructor. This is the pneumatic calibration. This is hydraulic calibration on here, two values. Right now, you have the VFD set up the 59%, control valve 75, level is 2256. Yeah, it's pretty stable, right? I'm lucky to get this level stable on here. But you know, sometimes it's really hard to maintain on that with the manual control, right? So that's going to be later on. We'll talk about the PLC automation control. Use the PNID. All right. So once you get this step, you need to call the instructor to sign you off. Right. So this is the result. Instructor will sign off, and once we get here, everything will shut down. All right. So shut down and close. Then you need to press this to go back to the first screen. So then everything is reset. So ready for the next people come in to work on this trainer. All right.